Hi guys, Steve here. In this video I'm going to find the biggest building area that you can have on the back of an Oasisaur. So when this video is helpful, please like and subscribe. Thank you. Now I had planned building a big, huge, impressive base, but it turns out there's a cap limit to how many building tiles you can place on these things. That was a bit disappointing, but you can still learn a lot, and if you're not on an official server, maybe up the tile limit. Now there are different types of Oasisaurs, ones with trees on top, ones with cactus, and one with rocks and minerals on its back. Now when you put a foundation down, the trees, cactus and rocks do vanish, but you can't chop any of the trees down, so if you wanted to clear the area without putting any foundations down, you won't be able to, so it makes it more difficult to build. So I think the best Oasisaur is the one without any trees or cactus. I found out you're not able to put a vault down, which is really disappointing, so you're going to have to keep your stuff in large storage boxes. Right, let's start building and putting the foundations down. I'm at the front on its middle lump next to the water pool, and I'm going to place a square foundation right in the middle as far forward as I can. Like so. Now build to the sides. I'm going to carry on and place square foundations everywhere I can until the top of the Oasisaur is full. I've done it as symmetrical as I can, and I can't place any more, and that's the layout we've got. It's not bad, but with the square shapes there's a lot of empty space on the sides that I could still fill. I'll remove all of them and then try it with triangle foundations. Again, I'm in the middle at the front, but every time I try and place a triangle foundation down, weirdly it's placed at an angle. I've tried it all around the top and it always gets placed in an angle. So a way I've found to get around that is to place a square foundation first, place it where you would want a triangle one. I'll lift it up so it's higher, place it, don't need that one. So everything will be straight looking in that direction. Then behind it place a triangle foundation, go to the front, remove the square foundation, then place a triangle foundation at the front to replace it. Then from there just build out and fill every empty space with triangles. I've just finished, and with pure triangles that's the shape we get. It fills more space than the square one did, but there's a hell of a lot of jagged edges. So building walls up from there is going to be messy as hell. Then the next thing I tried, instead of having a triangle foundation pointing forward, I tried it pointing to the back to see if I'd get a better shape. I had to put a square down first to get it pointing in the right direction, and again just build off from that. And this is a foundation layout we got with a triangle pointing backwards to start, compared to a triangle pointing forward, and then back again. There's still too many points and placing walls on that would be a real mess. So let's see if we can try and smooth those sides off a bit. This time I'm going to start as far back as I can. Put a square down just to get everything straight. Then put a triangle down, remove the square, and build out triangle foundations from here. This is a shape it gave me this time. And as you can see, I'm not as close to the water as I was before. There's slightly more straight edges at the side. So if I go down and remove all the ones sticking out, this is what I'm left with. It looks cleaner, doesn't it? But quite a bit smaller than we had before. I found out if you build as far forward as possible with square foundations, build a line backwards as far as you can go, you've got just enough room to put a triangle foundation at the back. And that'll give you some extra space. Then I filled all the other space in with square foundations, did the line of triangle foundations at the back, which gave me this. Then I went in and tried to round the edges with triangle foundations. I delete that square, put triangles there. I can get 4 this side, but only 3 on the other. It must slightly be off centre. Then I was left with this. The front and back is really good, but I don't like the jaggedy sides, as we're still losing space there. The square line of foundations at the front seemed the right way to go. And I worked out you could have an extra square foundation in there to give it more length if you had 2 square foundations at the front instead of 1 in the middle. Then I'd fill the rest of the space up with triangle foundations, as that should allow me to do angled sides. That got me to here, but there's a few points still sticking out, so I'll remove that one. I couldn't put another tile there. Let's remove that one as well. But it wasn't symmetrical as it was slightly off to one side. So now I'll show you how I got to the biggest and best foundation layout. You see that line on the texture right in the middle of that bump? That's going to be your starting position. You want to move up and get the foundation as far forward as possible. Then move to the left and scroll your mouse back to put yourself in third person mode. Next you want to get the right side of your foundation as close to that middle texture line as you can. I lifted the foundation and placed it, then place a second foundation right next to it. Those 2 foundations are your starting point right in the middle. Next you want to build a line of square foundations off to the sides. 3, 4, 5, 6. Can't put any more. Then you want to do another 6 foundations the other side. 3, 4, 5, 6. And off from there you want to lay triangles down at the back. I have found it's a bit buggy when you're putting foundations on the back of an Oasisaur. Sometimes it lets you do it and sometimes it doesn't. So when you've laid a row of foundations down, go back to the empty space surrounded by tiles where you couldn't place it in before, and it usually works. I'm just finishing the front off with square foundations, and that's what we've got to. Now the sides are much straighter, so it'll be easier to build walls on them. But I still want to get rid of those tiny V's at the back next to those square foundations. So what I'm going to do is remove the triangles at the side and replace them with square foundations and keep that going along the edge. Then I've got to remove these triangles as well. Then I'll replace the outer edge of square foundations with triangle ones, and that leaves me with this, which is looking much better. So I've done the inside with square foundations and the outside with triangles. Then at the back sides with squares as well. That's my best layout so far. And then finally, with a bit of tweaking, I get to this stage. I've added more triangles at the front, a bit like crab claws, and that gives me more space. All the sides of the walls can be flat now, and there's no triangle sticky out bits. Yeah, I could put a couple more triangles down, but it won't be symmetrical. And that's the biggest foundation layout I could get to. Now, like I said at the start, I had plans of building a huge, glorious base. And I built this as it was going to be my downstairs to keep all my creatures in. I'll show you from above. That castle would look really nice, wouldn't it? And I was going to have loads of extra floors on top. However, when I went to put the first floor in, I'd reached my tile building limit. Oh, what a pain in the ass. It's really disappointing. They put a good creature in where you could build a fairly good base, but they don't give you enough tile limit to do so. So if you're on a non-official server, ask the server admin if I can up the platform build limit. After I logged back in from a rage quit from spending all day doing this, I found that a dino door frame had vanished and one of the floor tiles. So you might want to keep your eye out in case parts of your base disappear. To try and put a roof on and get a base enclosed, I lowered the wall height to 2 tiles high. That's all the roof I could put on before I hit the build limit again. I lowered the walls again, now just to 1 high, so there's not going to be much headroom, and I only had 1 dino gate to get my creatures in. And that's as far as I got before I ran out of building tiles. We have to pay to tame this creature, so it's such a shame I didn't give it enough tiles to build something good on it. So let's try and remove the dino gate and wall. Everything is 1 tile high now and looks a bit flat and boring. I carry on putting the roof on, well that's as far as I could get. So yeah, you can put a pretty big foundation on top of an Oasisaur, but if you're unofficial you're going to have to build a small base. I didn't want to leave it on a downer, so here's the base you can build. I did this on single player, so hopefully they've done the same settings as official. I had to remove some foundation tiles to get enough space to enclose it with a roof. The highest point is 3 wall tiles high, so that gives me enough room to put a dino gate at the back, so you can get your Argies and harvesting creatures in. It's got 2 floors so you can stand on the front top, have a little garden there or something. And those foundations that make the bottom ground platform sides can be deleted if you need more tiles. Let me show you the inside. Go up the steps. So this area is just 1 wall tile high. Have your storage and workbench in here, and use it for crafting. And at the back we have a 3 tile open area where you can bring your Argies in and move around. You can put perches up at the back or something. And then we have the dino gate. Open that, that's where your creatures go in and out. And you've got an empty open space at the back where you can keep your wyverns. Go in and upstairs. Go to the 2nd floor. You can have the flies down there, more creatures. Put what you want on top of here. Put crop plots down and have a garden or something. I'll show you what equipment you can place. You can have a water tank, an industrial cooker. I've hit the building limit, so I've got to delete some of the outer foundations I don't need. Everything needs to be adobe if you don't want to get too hot. Now I can place a grill, refrigerator, chemistry bench, power generator, aircon. Now it won't let you put automated turrets on it, which is a bit of a shame, but you can put ballistas and catapults on. I've had to temporarily remove the roof for this one, but I wanted to show you that you couldn't place an industrial forge, which is really disappointing. Get on them about that, and hope they change it. But as you saw, you can build most of the other stuff. That's the base I came up with. Now my advice would be, if you want a nice looking base with smooth sides, you get a good result by using triangle foundations. But the triangles are a lot smaller than square foundations, so you need more of them. And that's going to use up more building tiles, so you hit the cap limit faster. So if you're not too bothered on looks, you might want to just go for square foundations, as you'll be able to build a lot more stuff. So yeah, you're able to build something this size. Otherwise you can build something massive if you up the build cap limit on unofficial servers. So I hope this video has helped you out with your Oasisaur's base foundation. Please like and subscribe if this video is helpful, and share it with your friends if you think it'll help them out. Click the bell notifications and all to get notified when I upload next. Check out the links below if you want to join Patreon and buy anything from a merch store or rent a server. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll link other videos at the end. Goodbye.